Paul, can we call the committee hold to order, please?
Lennon.
Here.
Boywood.
Here.
Pisa.
Here.
Tate.
Here.
Pabon.
Here.
Ruiz.
Here.
Arenella.
Here.
Carmichael.
Here.
8 present, Mayor.
Okay, so tonight we have the diversity, equity, and inclusion from perspectives. I'm going to let Alderman Aronella introduce it since this is under her committee. Alderman?
Hi, good evening. So tonight we have Perspectives with us. They're going to be doing a presentation on diversity, equity, and inclusion, what we are proposing for employees for the city of Berwyn. I will let them introduce themselves. First here on Zoom, we have Stephanie. I met with Stephanie first, and we had a Zoom and discussed some things, and then other folks joined in, and we are here today. So I will let them introduce themselves and start the presentation. Stephanie?
All right, the camera's moving around a bit. Good evening, everyone. I am so sorry that I could not be there. I actually live in the nation's capital here in Washington, D.C. And so it is my honor to be here this evening virtually to talk a little bit about, number one, first and foremost, perspectives and the benefit that we offer there to the City of Berwyn employees. So we offer an employee assistance benefit, which covers up to 10 free EAP sessions that is paid for free for all the employees there with the City of Berwyn. Just a little bit of background that you all have excellent utilization. So your employees are using the benefit. We also have some applications that we've recently updated. There's a phone app, there's online resources. So there is a ton of resources that your employees there at the City of Berwyn are currently already utilizing. So what we will present tonight will be in addition to what we are going to be offering in the 2023 and then ongoing for the employees there with the City of Berwyn. A little bit about my background. I've been in mental health and leadership development and coaching for over 25 years. And I also have a very strong background of the same amount of time in diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is what we will be presenting to you all this evening. As Claudia mentioned, her and myself and Mary Beth have met, and we had a very long discussion about what the needs of the city are at this time. And we're hoping that in this presentation that we can answer a lot of your questions as it relates to this type of ongoing training. Any questions?
We have two other young ladies here with the perspectives. Did you want to introduce yourselves?
Well, we would like to thank you, first of all, for having us. My name is Emilia Leonardakis. I'm a Chief Learning Strategist with Perspectives. It's on. Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Great, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Thank you for having us again. My colleague Tatiana and I, we're going to go over, we have a short presentation, about 5 slides. Sounds like you all had an opportunity to read our proposal. So we're going to take some stops throughout the presentation and see if you have any questions or any things that need to be clarified. We're here to answer those questions tonight.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm Tatiana Fertelmeister. By the way of introducing myself, I've been in the United States half of my life. I'm originally from Russia. And all my family roots are from Ukraine, so that's just kind of the personal cross-cultural craziness that I've been living in this last year. I came to the United States as a refugee, and since I first came here, I got a degree in mental health counseling, and I've been working as a mental health professional with people across cultures. I also have been doing a lot of diversity work and intercultural work. And for daily practice, I am married to somebody who is from a different culture. So that's kind of a little bit about me.
Okay, so we're going to walk you through this short presentation. So Perspectives has been around for 40 years. Both Tatiana and I run our own companies, and we're consultants with Perspectives. Our focus is in global leadership training and intercultural communication, intercultural relationships, and so on. We have worked with multiple municipalities over Perspectives in itself, over 120 municipalities, so we're very familiar with the government concept. Tatiana and I, we have partnered in some really great projects together with State of Washington Health Department, where we're delivering, we actually just wrapped up the first year of cultural humility training. And even though it falls under the DI umbrella, cultural humility training is somewhat different. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about that. We just did the introductions here really quick. Thank you, Stephanie, for joining us from afar, from Washington, D.C. Hope the weather is great out there. And without losing too much time, what is cultural humility? So we're going to focus throughout the training that we're proposing for your employees in 4 areas. The first one is cultural awareness, right? So that is being aware of who we are, our differences, how we interact differently with other people. Cultural understanding, that is understanding the other side, understanding ourselves foremost, and then understanding other people. Cultural knowledge, and cultural interaction and cultural sensitivity. So those are the 5 components that we propose to focus on our training. So what does it require? It requires developing cultural self-awareness, gain cultural knowledge, understanding and readdressing power imbalances. So we talk a lot about institutional accountability and mitigating power imbalances and holding the organization accountable. So those are the top areas that we focus on cultural humility training. Anything to add to that, Tatiana?
Just as a kind of point of interest, maybe, the organization that's called Center for Creative Leadership recently came up with the model for developing conflict competency in teams and leadership, and to our great pleasure, a lot of what they have in their model are the things that we are bringing in the work that we are doing. So it is about people really getting to be more competent and confident in dealing with each other across all kinds of differences that are just very natural for humankind.
So any questions before we move forward? Just want to pause here. And we're going to go over. Okay, very good. Thank you. So these are the 3 tenets of cultural humility, and that's what makes it different than cultural competency. The number 1 is lifelong learning and self-reflection. So that comes through self-critique, self-evaluation, trying to understand yourself before you try to understand others. This is a lifelong journey. So cultural competency means that we reach a certain level of competency or learning about the other side, whereas cultural humility is a lifelong learning process. So we never stop learning, you know, about ourselves or others. That's the first tenet of cultural humility. The second one is mitigating power imbalances. So we're talking about interdepartmental balances, alignment. You know, how do we talk within the departments, holding that power? Who holds more power? You know, we're talking about subordinates and supervisors, and how's that power split between, you know, who's more powerful than the other? And we see that a lot in the workplace nowadays. So how do we mitigate that power? And then institutional accountability being, you know, very important, especially for your municipality. That is, how do we hold ourselves accountable as an institution? What is the reputation that we have out there within our community? How do we involve our community to be part of who we are? You know, when we say City of Berwyn, what comes to our mind as, you know, citizens, as civilians, as people who work for the city, as people who live in the village of or city of Berwyn? So those are the main tenets of cultural humility. Anything else you want to? Okay. So this is the roadmap. This is what we have proposed to do in the first 6 months of this project. We're going to do phase 1 through 3. And we're going to start with a kickoff and planning. So we want to make sure that we hear about your goals, your challenges, what you're faced with every day. You know, when it comes to how do you deal with challenges in the workplace, right? We have a multi-generational workplace nowadays. How do you deal with that? We have multicultural teams. We have people from all over the world. How do we deal with that? And how do we recognize what's different between us and them? So that's the first part, where the kickoff meeting will talk about the challenges. We'll talk about your needs. So the more we learn about your team and your municipality, the better we'll be able to tailor the program according to what you actually need. This is not our program, this is your program. So we want to make sure that we hear your voices. The second phase, we do the assessments. They're all confidential, anonymous. So it's called intercultural effectiveness scale assessment. And we encourage everyone to take that assessment. It gives us a better idea as to, what are our preferences as human beings. And that, what we get from the assessment will allow us to design the curriculum. So right now we don't have a design curriculum for you. We know where we're going, but then we want to hear your voice and your preferences before we set up that training. That's where the customization factor comes into place. And then the third phase is the training itself. So we are planning to do 2 types of training, one for the leadership team and one for the workforce itself. Again, because there are different roles that we're trying to make sure, how do you manage people, how do you manage projects, what is the notion of time, how do you view time, how do you view the power within the organization itself, how do you view the power within your department. So these are some of the things that we take into consideration when we put the training program together and then deliver it. We offer flexibility, so we're going to work with your team on, making sure that everybody, the fire department, gets trained at, their convenience to the best of our abilities. There are quite a few trainings, so 500 employees, it's a big number. So to get everybody trained within that first 6 months, it's a commitment on your end and our end. So, and then the phase 4 that comes after the 6 months. 6 months is the sustainability, too many S's there, and accountability. So that is. So when it comes to cultural humility, we want to take an active role together with you, so it doesn't become just a knowledge. Okay, we didn't just check a box that we said we did this kind of training, we're done with it. So this is an ongoing learning, so that means that we have to have a maintenance program together for you, so every new hire will go through the same training, so everybody is on the same level. Yep.
I just want to emphasize the importance of the part 1 when we will be learning about the organization, learning about the people. The rules of adult learning is adults don't learn unless we're interested, unless there is a need that we experience. And better understanding what it is that will be important, useful, practically applicable for people to learn in terms of working across cultural differences. So that's kind of why we want to know who you are before we tell you this is something that might be useful for you to learn. So that's kind of the reason for that.
And just to add there, as you can tell from our accents, both of us, we just walk the walk. We just don't talk the talk. So we both have been through this learning experiences and learning how to work with people from other cultures and trying to assimilate as much as we can. So when we bring examples, those are first-hand examples. We don't just give anecdotes from, what has happened. You can read from those, about those on the books. We bring real-life situations. We both have been educated in 2 different countries, so, that's actually a plus. So, with that being said, we're going to open it to any questions that we can answer for you.
I read the original synopsis that you sent to Claudia. My biggest question was, I understand that we have to learn as employees to work together, but I was really concerned about the short portion of it that has interaction with our residents. So I think Claudia transmitted that to, I don't know if it was Stephanie or whoever, but we also have to worry about how we interact with our residents, our employees interact with our residents. So hopefully that'll be a large portion of what you come up with too for a plan.
So just to give, a reply to that, we focus on 2 areas when we work. We work with internal customers and external customers, so, understanding both sides. And we want to create a healthy, respectable workforce that it's enjoyable to everyone. So that's where the focus is, but that does not exclude the community.
Okay.
So we do focus on internal and external customers. It falls under customer service, but then, you can't fail to deal with both sides. So it's like, it's not just people that you work in the same office and you share the same office or department, but it's who walks those doors and that's why I said, when we talk about institutional accountability, that involves everybody from the outside and the reputation that we have, as a city.
Well, I would think that a happier workforce would obviously transmit or translate to happier working with residents.
Right.
So, but I understand that portion of it, but I do want to make sure that we concentrate somewhat on how we treat the residents as they come in here.
Yeah, and that will be probably more pronounced when we design the program. You'll be more able to see where we put that
Okay.
piece. That's why we do those assessments, because those assessments will give us an idea as to where the gaps are between what the expectations are versus what our behavior looks like. So we want to close that gap as to my personal behavior versus, where the institution expects me to be. So again, having the community involvement, that's important, and
Okay.
making sure that we cover that aspect. So going back to the phase one, the kickoff, that's where we're going to talk with your team and see how much of that do you want into the content when we build the content for the
Gotcha.
training.
Okay. Secondarily, I know our police force by state has to go through the DEI training. I don't know if it's the same or similar to what Perspectives will supply, so I don't know if they have to redo it or not. We still have to figure that out, don't we, Alderman Aaronella?
So.
I can reply to that.
Okay.
So we work closely with NEMRT, Northeast Multi-Regional Training Association, that's the acronym, and we have submitted 5 of our curricula to NEMRT for approval that do not clash with their current DEI training. So we have violence against women, we have Spanish for law enforcement, we have cultural awareness for law enforcement that we're shifting to cultural humility for law enforcement. So we have 5 of them that have been already submitted.
Okay.
And what we've noticed is that a lot of municipalities are ahead of the game in that area, and a lot of the rest of us are catching up with that. I just met with the village of Elgin, and I had to talk with them for the same reason, because there is some overlapping. So we want to make sure that this is not a DI program; it's a cultural humility program that falls under the DI umbrella.
Okay, okay. All right. Anybody else have questions?
There is also another comment I would like to make on
Yes.
that. My understanding is that this mandatory training that you're talking about is like an hour-long thing.
I don't know the parameters, but yes, it is mandatory. yeah.
Often, and trainings like this are very important, but they are often focused on what not to do, yeah, without necessarily what to do instead. Yeah, and our focus is not just on never say this or never do that. It really is how do you engage, how do you navigate the complexity of differences, yeah, how do you make it work, being with people, be it your colleagues or customers that you're serving in the community. So that's
Okay.
the
Okay.
focus.
Could you please go back to the screen with your names so that I can spell them correctly for our minutes?
There will be a test on that one,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Go ahead and ask questions.
I wasn't asked.
Stephanie, any questions?
No, I do not have any questions. I did want to add, just with the first responders. I came from a large healthcare system in the Tampa Bay, Florida area, and I worked with 2 very large police departments. And the same kind of conversation came up around what they were currently doing versus what we were trying to implement. And what we found was, like Amelia said, there are some overlaps, but when it comes to the humility piece, we take a much, much deeper dive as it relates to the diversity piece around humility. So I do think that in that initial kickoff, there will be a lot of conversations to ensure that we are all on the same page and we're providing some new information that they can also incorporate with what they're currently doing.
Okay. All right. Any
And
Alderman?
one
sorry.
other point I'd like to make about the practicality of what we're talking about. In our experience in many organizations, one of the serious issues of diversity is this department and this department are speaking different languages, and they're kind of foreign to each other, yeah? And navigating the space between professional differences, functional differences, is often also very important. Yeah, so again, if we're focusing on skills of navigating differences, where these skills are being applied can then be, a variety of spaces. So.
Alderman, any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you all, number one, for sharing this with us. I really appreciate you all talking about adult learning, right? Because there's so many different modes of learning and people digest information differently. Can you talk a little bit about, within your curriculums, maybe the different types of techniques you use to make sure that different learners are able to take in the information?
One of the things that we always kind of keep on the back of our mind when we design our curricula is learning style differences, yeah? There are people who need to get all the theory before they're ready to look at anything else. There are people who come to the theory as a very last stop because they need to start with some, practical, they need to engage with their emotions. I don't know if anybody learns like me, but I first start putting things together, and when it doesn't come together, then I read instructions, somebody else reads instructions. So the idea of building curricula with this understanding of different learning styles is to make sure that at any given moment somebody is really happy, that nobody is happy all the time and nobody is unhappy all the time. So it's kind of moving so that at any given moment somebody is right in their perfect style, but next moment it moves to another style. So people, it kind of also is an intercultural experience of shared discomfort. Yeah, we don't believe in learning in comfort. Yeah, there needs to be a level of discomfort when we're learning, but also not the discomfort that is a bridge too far when, somebody gets lost in it, and, so that's kind of what we are managing in when we're working with the groups.
I'll add something else to that. So in my spare time, which I don't know what that means, but I'll call it spare time, I teach business at the university level. I teach negotiations and trying to hold the attention of adult learners, if we can call college student adult learners. It's very important and it's a very difficult task to do. So our programs are highly interactive. So there is not one moment that you sit there and you do work on your own. So most of the training is shared experiences. We cover safe space and brave spaces, two different things, right? So we got to make sure that we get through that first before we have these difficult conversations. So a lot of conversations that we have in that room are very difficult to deal with, even with ourselves, right? We talk about unconscious biases and things that are, very book theoretical kind of curriculum, but you have to go through those. And then we build on that and how we share those experiences that we face in day-to-day, in the workplace, or relationships that we have even outside the workplace. So that's what makes that adult learning more shared experiences rather than, textbooks. So if that answers the question a bit.
No, yeah, I appreciate that, especially the interactive piece and the different styles of learning. The other question I wanted to ask, in my job, I've been lucky enough to be on the equity task force for the past 5 years. So this work is very close to me. And so I was wondering, when it comes to your assessment process, are you all, I saw a couple times assessment on there, are you all hoping to create or co-create or co-design with staff some type of equity analysis or equity assessment so that leadership and staff know where they're at in terms of their journey and can build on that? Because I know there's an assessment piece, but I just want to make sure that
The assessment that we are planning on using, the intercultural effectiveness scale, is a copyrighted designed assessment that looks at skills and competencies and abilities that people have to operate well in the environment of difference, or something that they need to be mindful about needing to develop or find a way to compensate for, because not every skill that I might need I have time and, energy to develop, so there are ways of compensating. We also will be in conversation with people. We will be looking at, what we're learning within the organization, and we often use something like SurveyMonkey questionnaires to see where people are within the organization. And equity is one of the most important points, and linguistically, unfortunately, it comes so close to equality that people often confuse, what's what. And equity is one of the most challenging in a way, because it is it emphasizes treating people in a way that maximizes their potential, and what maximizes potential for one person is different from what maximizes potential for another person. And in a sense, cultural humility approach serves equity very well, because cultural humility is about willingness to learn about the other and understand what is this other need to be more effective in their work, or to be better served, as a customer. Yeah. So.
I can just add a couple of things. One thing to keep in mind about the assessments, they're anonymous, so that's what we're telling people. But then as a department, if you want to see general responses without names, we can probably, put some things together on that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys approaching this from on an individual level, but I think hearing you all talk about like power, fluency, and institutional power, I just wanted to lift that up too, is there's work to be done on an individual basis, but institutionally, what is the journey too? So yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we get to the three tenets, because you want to keep a balance between the three of them. You can't do one without the other. In order to see success, you have to tackle all components. So that's why we want to make sure that, if you have, your department has certain needs, we can, like Tatiana said, we can do SurveyMonkey, polls that we can do even throughout the training to discover, that group of people, and, what the response is as a group. But then we shy away from individual responses.
Because when you pour something valuable in a container, you want the container to hold water, so to speak. Yes, so that's kind of how we are focusing on that. Don't start us talking, because you will not get out of here.
I might
Any
have
other
to audit your
questions?
class.
Any other questions? Well, thank you very much, ladies. We're looking forward to it. Alderman, I presume you and Claudia are going to work around the scheduling of all this and get this moving? Yep. Okay.
Thank you for having us.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you all. I wish you all a healthy and prosperous new year.
Thank you,
Thank
Stephanie.
you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, I have nothing else for the committee of the whole. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a second.
Lennon by Leisure. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. See you back at 8 o'clock. Don't forget, the cameras will be remaining on, so.
today, Marge. Oops.
in, please? Yeah, and you are?
see you. We had to cancel our trip to Florida Thursday because you know it's gonna be a shit show again.
Clerk Paul, can we call the council meeting to order, please?
Lennon.
Here.
Boywood.
Here.
Leisure.
Here.
Fate.
Here.
Pabon.
Here.
Ruiz. Here. Aaronella.
Here.
Carmichael.
Here.
8 present, Mayor.
Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and please remain standing? If we could please keep in our thoughts and prayers the family of Felicita Concepcion Rivera, who's the aunt of Ophelia Escalante, who works at our Berwyn Police Department, as well as all the men and women we have on the street tonight. Thank you. If anybody from the audience wishes to address the open forum, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address. Nobody from the audience? Alderman, anything for open forum?
Mayor, Council, I'd like to recognize and thank the combined veterans of Berwyn and all volunteers and sponsors for the Sailors for Christmas event. It turned out really nice.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing none. Item C1, please.
Item C1 are the minutes of the Committee of the Whole and the regular meeting of December 13th, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve the Committee of the Whole and regular City Council meeting minutes of December 13th.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, second by Fate, to approve the minutes for the Committee of the Whole and the regular council meeting of December 13th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item E1, please.
Item E1 is a communication from the Berwyn Development Corporation Executive Director Hulsberg regarding a commercial loan agreement with the Fifth Third Bank.
Do we have questions? David, do you have anything?
I'll make a motion to approve the commercial loan program renewal line of credit application for Fifth Third Bank, fix the necessary signatures, and send it on its way to passage.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Fate, to approve the extension of the business loan agreement with Fifth Third Bank, affix the necessary signatures, and place on its way to passage. All those in favor, on the call of the roll.
Lennon.
Aye.
Boywood.
Aye.
Leisure.
Aye.
Fate.
Aye.
Pabon.
Aye.
Ruiz. Aye. Aaronella.
Aye.
Carmichael.
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item E2, please.
Item E2 is a communication from Mr. Hulsberg with a resolution that reads, excuse me, I lost it. A resolution supporting a Class 7-3 real estate tax assessment application for commercial facility located at 6201 Ogden for the City of Berwyn, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
David?
Yes, this petition came before us once before and came to council. It was rejected at that time because of lack of information was provided or failed to be provided. At this point in time, the petitioner is now coming for one of the 9 pins associated with this property and seeking a tax abatement of a 7C on it. The rationale behind this is trying to keep the convenience store open, which provides staples then to the neighborhood. As you'll see from the documents provided, the Class C store is not doing very well financially, and the abatement will provide the ability for it to stay open and serve the community.
Phil, did you have something you wanted to add? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I motion to adopt the attached resolution supporting a Class 7C real estate tax assessment application for commercial facility located at 6201 Ogden with PIN number 16-32-121-018 for the City of Berwyn, State of Illinois, and authorize the corporate authorities to affix the necessary signatures and place it on its way to patches.
Second.
Motion by Roywood, seconded by Lennon, to adopt the resolution for the 7C for 6201 Ogden for the 1 PIN number as emphasized in the motion, affix the necessary signatures, and placed on its way to passage. All those in favor, on the call of the roll.
Lennon.
Aye.
Boywood.
Aye.
Leisure.
Aye.
Fate.
Aye.
Pabon.
Aye.
Ruiz. Aye. Aaronella.
Aye.
Carmichael.
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item F1, please.
Item F1 is a communication from the mayor, a presentation of certificates to Junior State of America Morton West chapter members and youth leaders with certificates of our appreciation for their volunteerism.
Can I have a motion to adopt first, award the certificates, and then we'll call the names out?
I motion to adopt the presentation of certificates of appreciation for volunteerism to 18 Junior State of America Morton West Chapter members, youth leaders.
Second.
Motion by Aaronella, seconded by Pabon, to adopt the certificates of appreciation for volunteerism for the 18 JSA city youth leaders, and fix the next, well, we don't need to fix any signatures. Congratulate them on what they did for us this past holiday season, because with their help, without their volunteerism, it would have been very difficult. We're going to call the names. Marge, would you please call the names? Do we have a motion, we have a seconded? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Marge, would you call the names? We can call you all up at once, please?
Yes, Mayor, we welcome Yadira Padilla, Alexis Aleman,
Alexis?
Isaac Sanchez,
Is Isaac here?
Jasmine Gonzaga,
Jasmine's not here.
Diana Ricardo,
Is Diana here? Come on, Diana.
Matthew Corey, Maritza Castaneda, Claudia Alvarez, Jonathan Carrillo,
Jonathan's not here.
David Bonilla, Nyla Lawson, Valeria Contreras,
She's not here.
Montse Gonzalez,
Montse's not here.
Diego Valle,
Diego's not here. Okay.
Annabelle Quiros,
Annabelle's not here.
Isabella Izari,
Okay, they're on vacation.
Melanie Hayes,
Melanie? Not here.
and
Okay.
Pauline Guman.
So if it wasn't for these young youth leaders, the city of Berwyn would have probably gone starving this winter, this Christmas, but they helped us so much with packing all the boxes and getting the food out to those people who need it here in Berwyn. So I personally want to thank you all. Thank you very much. Oh, you want them down there? Okay. There's more pictures. Item F2, please.
Item F2 is a communication from the mayor regarding the appointment of Robert Pilch to the 911 Emergency Telephone Systems Board.
I move that we concur with Mayor Lavero's recommendation to appoint Robert Pilch, a 17-plus years responder on the Berwyn Fire Department, to the 911 Board Emergency Telephone System for a 3-year term beginning January 6, 2023.
Second.
Motion by Alasia, seconded by Lennon, to concur with the mayor's appointment of Rod Pilch to the 911 Emergency Telephone System beginning January 6, 2023 for a 3-year term. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Rob, you need to come up to get sworn in for that one.
System Board in the City of Berwyn, County of Cook, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and faithfully discharge the duties of the 911 Emergency Telephone System Board to the best of your ability.
And Rob has been appointed to that position to fill the vacancy left by the retirement of Carl Rihanna Jr., who I'm happy to announce is taking over as chief in Sycamore, Illinois. Item F3, please.
Item F3 is a communication from the mayor regarding the reappointment of Fire Chief Hayes and Deputy Chief Caniglio to the 911 Board.
I move that we concur with Mayor Robert Lavero's recommendation to reappoint Chris Caniglio and Thomas Hayes, both of whom are representatives of the City of Berwyn's public safety agencies, to the 911 Board Emergency Telephone System, each for a term of 3 years.
Second.
Motion by Leja, seconded by Lennon, to concur with the reappointment of Chris Caniglio and Thomas Hayes to the 911 Board. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. You do not need to be sworn in again. Item I1, please.
Item I1 is a communication from the Fire and Police Commission announcing the hiring of Elizabeth Ann Stryker as a probationary firefighter paramedic.
I move that we accept the communication from the Fire and Police Commission certifying Elizabeth Ann Stryker as the next eligible candidate on the entry-level eligibility list as informational.
Second.
Motion by Leja, seconded by Lennon, to to consider informational the communication from the Police and Fire Commission approving Elizabeth Ann Stricker as the next candidate from the police fire list, from the fire list. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item I2, please.
Item I2 is from the Police and Fire Commission announcing the promotion of Brandon Keeg to the rank of lieutenant.
I move that we accept the communication from the Fire and Police Commission putting Brandon Key as the next eligible candidate on the Fire Department Lieutenant's promotional list as informational.
Second.
Motion by Leja, seconded by Lennon, to consider informational the promotion of Brandon Keeg is next on the lieutenant's promotion list. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tommy, does Brandon need to be sworn in? Is Brandon here? Brandon?
Do you, Brandon Keeg, having been promoted to the rank of lieutenant for the City of Berwyn Fire Department and the County of Cook aforesaid, do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and faithfully discharge the duties of your new position to the best of your ability? I do.
Brandon's wife is going to pin his new badge on.
Congratulations, Brandon. Item I3, please.
I3 is a communication from the Fire and Police Commission announcing the promotion of Derek Majerus to the rank of lieutenant.
I move that we accept the communication from the Fire and Police Commission certifying Derek Majerick as the next eligible candidate on the Fire Department Lieutenant's promotion list as informational.
Second.
Motion by Leisure, seconded by Lennon, to consider informational the communication from the Board of Fire Police Commissioners elevating Derek Majerus to the lieutenant's promotional list. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Derek?
Do you, Derek Majerus, having been promoted to the rank of lieutenant for the City of Berwyn Fire Department and the County of Cook, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, support the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and faithfully discharge the duties of your new position to the best of your ability? I do. Congratulations.
Derek's wife Sarah's gonna put his new badge on.
Congratulations, Derek. Item J1, please.
J1 is a communication from Fire Chief Hayes regarding the promotion of Mark Agnello to the rank of engineer.
I move that we accept the communication from Fire Department Chief Hayes introducing Mark Agnello to be sworn in as Berwyn Fire Department Engineer as informational.
Second.
Motion by Leja, second by Lennon, to consider as informational the communication for the swearing in of firefighter paramedic Mark Agnolo to the rank of engineer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mark?
Please raise your right hand. Do you, Mark Agnello, having been promoted to the rank of engineer for the City of Berwyn Fire Department in the County of Cook, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, support the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and faithfully discharge the duties of your new position to the best of your ability?
I do.
Our son's gonna put his new badge on for him.
Congratulations, Mark. Item J2, please.
J2 is a communication from Fire Chief Hayes announcing the promotion of Michael Lyon to the rank of Battalion Chief.
I move that we accept the communication from Fire Chief Thomas Hayes introducing Michael Lyon to be sworn in as Berwyn Fire Department Battalion Chief as informational.
Second.
Motion by Leja, seconded by Leonard to consider information. The communication bringing Lieutenant Mike Lyons to be sworn in as Battalion Chief, again replacing Kyle Rihanna Jr. Thank you. Come on up, Michael. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Do you, Michael Lyons, have been promoted to the rank of Battalion Chief for the City of Berwyn Fire Department? Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois and faithfully discharge the duties of your new position to the best of your ability?
Mike's son Michael will be pinning his new badge on.
Congratulations, Michael. Item J3.
J3 is a communication from Chief Hayes announcing the promotion of Robert Pilch to the rank of Division Chief.
I move that we accept the communication from Fire Department Chief Hayes introducing Robert Pilch to be sworn in as Berwyn Fire Department Division Chief as informational.
Second.
Motion by Leja, seconded by Leonard to consider informational the communication from Chief Hayes introducing Engineer Robert Pilch to be sworn in as Division Chief. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Rob?
Please raise your right hand. Do you, Robert Pilch, having been promoted to the rank of Division Chief for the City of Berwyn Fire Department in the County of Cook, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, support the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and faithfully discharge the duties of your new position to the best of your ability?
Rob's son Joey.
Does everybody realize Michael Loretto can't see without his glasses on? Congratulations, Rob. Item J4.
J4 is a communication from Public Works Director Schiller regarding a recommendation to award a bid for removal of 2 underground storage tanks.
It is my motion to concur with Director Schiller's recommendation to award for the award of the underground storage tank investigation and contamination report to Petroleum Technologies Equipment for $35,550 and a 20% contingency for a total project cost of $44,660.
Second.
All right, just so everybody understands, these tanks were removed in the early 90s. They were right on the east end in the driveway. However, apparently they never received an NFR letter, so we have to go through the hoops. The EPA is now coming after us 30 years later to say we didn't do it. But we have all the receipts to show us removed, but we have to test the ground. That's what this is going to happen here, to investigate the show that we're finding. Motion by Ruiz, seconded by Aronella, to concur with Director Schiller and award the underground storage tank investigation to Petroleum Technologies Equipment for $35,550 plus the 20% contingency for a total project cost of $44,660. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Pabon?
Aye.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Aaronella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. The consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Carmichael to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Alderman at committee meetings, Alderman Lennon,
Call it a chair.
Alderman Roywood,
Call the chair.
Alderman Leisure,
Call of the chair.
Alderman Fate,
Call it chair.
Alderman Pabon,
Call the chair.
Alderman Ruiz,
Call the chair.
Alderman Aaronella,
Call the chair.
Alderman Carmichael.
Call the chair. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Carmichael, seconded by Ruiz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Everybody have a safe New Year. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
You got it.
I can't do it.
See you,
Hey, how did you do it?